Hi guys, and thanks for talking to Bayloric TV. So first I've got
Dominic, heavyweight prospect.
And
Lewison, next British heavyweight champion.
okay, so start with you first, Dominic.
I'm Dominic out of New Cross in London. I've had 2 pro fights, 2 KOs, and I'm looking to make an impression over the next 18 months in the heavyweight division.
So who are you with at the moment in terms of stable camp?
David Pereira is my trainer.
Okay, he was famously known for training Danny Williams, I believe.
Williams, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So tell us how it's been going.
Very, very good. Over the last 6 months, I've shed more than 2 stone. I haven't been in this weight for a very, very long time, so I'm actually quite anxious to see how I will react in my next fight, which should be, God willing, next month or July.
Okay. So what's the plan for you this year? How many fights are you going to have this year?
Well, I was held up a little bit last year. In November, I got an injury on my elbow, so that knocked me out for about 6 months, 8 months, pretty much. I haven't fought. So I'm trying to get as many fights as I can this year. If I can cram in at least 6 or 8 fights, I'll be very happy with that by the end of the year.
So where do you want to be, say 2015?
2015, I want to be somewhere in the top 10 in, like, moving towards the European scene. I don't want to stay on the domestic scene very long.
Right.
You know, I want to move as quickly as I can.
What do you think it's going to take for you to become, in the European scene?
Just people that will give me a chance.
Right.
That's all I need.
Okay.
I don't need to, as long as I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go.
What do you bring to the heavyweight division?
I don't know, a bit of class, a bit of charisma, definitely power.
So so if I had never seen you box before, talk me through.
Your impressions of me will be, wow, that's a good fighter. I would like to see him again. I'm not one of those guys that like to run their mouth, because I feel that it just puts too much pressure on you, expectation wise. I just go in there and do what I do.
Right.
Actually, I want to build a brand name of myself to know that when you buy a ticket to watch me fight, you know what you're going to get.
Okay, thank you. Let's have a word with Ian. Ian, lay him out, Lewis.
How you doing?
I'm cool. So we finally get to talk.
That's it, yeah, it's been a long time coming, it's finally happened.
Has indeed, and we've got the man himself right here. So, tell us what's been going on.
Just been training, trying to get fit and just get ready for the fight I've got coming up.
So, I mean, the last time I believe I saw you fight was Tom Dallas.
Yeah, you watched me take him out in exceptional style. Yeah, I ain't one to brag, but yeah, it was a very good fight.
I did predict that you'd stop Dallas pretty early.
Yeah, you did, and the thing about it was the prediction you made before the fight, you pretty much had it spot on. So it's like you could see into the future. It's like you had it exactly how it was.
Well, people tell me I don't know much about boxing, so I think some days I do and some days I don't. That was probably one of my lucky days.
Well, that's it. Yeah, you were spot on that occasion. That's what I can say.
So I mean, I heard about this rumor about you fighting Eddie Chambers. Where did that come from?
No, basically what had happened was I was supposed to fight John McDermott. That fight was all happening. Then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, John McDermott pulled out. Then the opportunity came to fight Eddie Chambers, but we agreed to it. We were training for it, and through training, I sustained an injury, so I had to pull out of it. And then after pulling out of it, it's like we asked them for the fight again, which they denied, and they said they're moving on to different things. They're going in a different direction, but hopefully an opportunity like that will arise again. But it would have been an exciting fight. It would have been.
People say, well, Eddie Chambers is more experienced. He's fought at a higher level than yourself. How would you have gone about fighting someone like him?
But the fact of the matter is, I understand when they say experience and levels and all that, but the fact is, when you get hit, innit? Whether it's by an amateur or a pro, or whether it's by an amateur or a pro, or a novice or an experienced person, you get hit. If you get hit hard enough and you get hit right, you're going to go down, regardless of whom it is, whether the person has experience or not. So the fact of the matter is, experience plays a part, but at the same time, when you hit, you hit.
Yeah. That's pretty true. But then the argument about you can't hit but you can't see.
Yeah, well, come on, he's been knocked out by Klitschko. Klitschko found him. He's been outboxed in his fight, probably his when was it? He fought at cruiserweight. He got outboxed. That person somehow found him. He's been beat a few times. Then people seem to find him. So at the end when people say you can't hit what you can't see, at the end yeah, I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, he's not Superman at the end of the day. He's not like Neo out of the Matrix at the end of the day. He can be hit.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, I genuinely believe I would have hit him and hurt him, and I would have genuinely put punches on him, and it would have wound him down, and I would have got a stoppage out of it. That's my beliefs.
Well, it could still happen. Who knows?
So there you go. Yeah, it's something that potentially can happen. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your career. I mean, you've had such few fights. Why is that?
All right. Let's not go too technical into it, but bad management. But let's not say much about it. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? You know where it goes. It's like I've been promised certain things. Then when it comes time to making it materialise, it doesn't materialise. Bad management. But I ain't one to turn around and say it's
bad management.
Fault. I ain't one to say it's anyone for bad management. But you know how it goes. I ain't pointing no fingers, manager. I ain't pointing no fingers and blaming anybody. But it's one of them things.
Right, it's one of those ones.
Yeah.
Okay, no names being mentioned.
Manager. no names, yeah.
So what's the situation now with you? Are you still got that manager, or?
No, I'm a free agent now. I'm solo. I'm like I'm a free agent representing myself now, doing my own thing.
So a lot of people talk about Ian Lewison, and there's a lot of positives. You fought Orlando Solis as an amateur.
Yeah, I fought many people. I fought Hellenius. I fought Orlando Solis. Fought David Price. I fought a load of people. Yeah.
So now the pros. What are you going to do to get yourself, like, you're ranked number 5 in the UK, okay? But what are you going to do to get yourself out of this domestic thing and get you into the European and the world scene? What's Ian Lewison going to do now?
Manage myself good.
So where do you feel that you could do that your manager didn't do?
All right.
Just one example.
All right, one example of what I could do, get myself a fight.
Right.
That's something my manager couldn't do. So at the end of the day, that in itself speaks for itself. So at the end of the day, I've separated from my manager, and on paper I've got 3 fights lined up now,
right.
Somewhat simultaneously. So at the end of the day, that in itself is progress from the fact that being with someone and having equivalent to 3 fights in a space of 2 years, that's the kind of activity I was having. And now, stepping away and being self-managed and doing my own thing, I've got 3 fights lined up over a duration of 4 months. So I think at the end of that is positive progress.
Right. Who would you like to fight in the British ratings?
Tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind putting an end to that Hughie Fury.
Right.
To that camp, because do you know what? I think it's a whole load of noise made about nothing.
What makes you want to go towards Hughie Fury? What's the whole thing about that? Why you?
Because I think at the end of the day he's got a lot of exposure. Me outing someone of his level would get me a lot of exposure. And at the end of the day, the plain straight of it is his pants. That's the plain truth of it. His pants. I wouldn't mind putting an end to him and derailing that train.
So if the fight was offered to you, you'd take it in a heartbeat?
Listen, I'll just finish training now. I'll take it. I'd walk to the arena now and take it if they ask me. The fact of the matter is, I genuinely don't think he's that decent a fighter. I don't.
Okay, while we're on it, heavyweights. We're talking about heavyweights. As you know, you're in the camp of Derek Chisora. You're in the gym with Derek Chisora, so...
I'm not in the camp of Derek Chisora. I'm in the Ian Lewison camp, but I train with Derek Chisora as trainer.
That's
all it is.
Let's make that clear. So you are not in the camp. You're not in Derek Chisora's
camp.
Right.
All it is, we share the same trainer.
Right. Good. I'm glad you made that clear. So we clarified that. So Derek Chisora, Tyson Fury 2. Your view first.
Kind of depends what type of Derek comes up, because of his last few performances, minus the Kevin Johnson one, where it was kind of a lackluster affair. But against, is it Urban Gerber or whatever his name is?
Edmund Gerber.
He looked awesome. He looked on point.
Right.
You know, if that Derek Chisora turns up to fight Fury,
yes,
Fury's going to have his hands full that night.
Right.
But based on Tyson's performances, I don't know. It's 50-50. It's really hard to say. I would lean to Derek because I know Derek.
Right.
I don't know Tyson like that. So,
okay. Yeah. Let's hear Ian. You've obviously spent lots of rounds sparring with Derek. So, your views?
I think if it goes long, I think Derek can wear down Tyson.
Right.
think if it was early, then I wouldn't know. If it was early, I don't know how to call that one. I think it's a 50-50 fight, but I think the longer it goes, the more it's in Derek's favour, because Derek's that type of fighter who will weigh you down and grind you down and just demoralise you as the fight goes on.
Right.
Yeah, because none of them are really one punch knockout punch.
None of them are concussive,
Yeah, so it's not a thing that where one goes in with more advantage other than the height and reach of Fury than the other.
So potentially, would you fight the winner or the loser? I mean, how's that work for you, Ian?
So I'll fight either one of them. At the end of the day, like I said, I share the same trainer with Derek, but the fact of the matter is, because of that, I don't think that a fight with Derek would happen.
Right.
But the only way it would happen unless it was like for two of us as world champions, we're trying to unify, then something like that, and obviously we would. But if that being the case, obviously then the fight wouldn't happen. But Tyson, yeah, I'd fight him. At the end of the day, I don't see nothing spectacular about him where I'd shy away from the fight or try not to have that fight. But I think he's good. He's all right. I wouldn't say he's great. Nor would I say he's that great or he's that good. He's okay. He's a good fighter. I'd say he's better than average.
What about the current heavyweight champion of the world, which you've got, which is, Bermain Stavern? What are your thoughts on Stavern?
Oh, that's my boy. I've been singing his praises from the moment I saw him. I was very, very impressed with him, how he conducts himself. You know, he's very compact, very tight. Maybe I would say the only thing I would say he needs to probably work on is a little bit footwork. He's a little bit slow, can be a little bit ponderous sometimes. But other than that, when he hits you, man, it's serious. You know, and obviously Ariola felt the effects of that.
Twice.
Yeah.
I think Stavern is a good fighter, but if I was to point out any flaw of him, I'd say I think he's not aggressive enough.
Right.
He sits back too much. That's what I think. So, but I think if he was to fight someone like Klitschko, he couldn't afford to sit back like that.
Right.
We'd have to be more aggressive in that fight.
There's the potential that he says he would fight the winner of Fury versus Chisora.
Yeah, that would make for a good fight.
Who?
Yeah.
How do you, if you fought Fury, how do you think the fight would go?
I think he would knock Fury out because Fury has never been hit by a legitimate heavyweight. Yeah.
Right.
A legitimate heavyweight who can punch,
Right.
and he's been down in his career. He's got up to his credit, but he's never been hit by a legitimate puncher.
Right.
But I genuinely believe once he gets hit by a genuine puncher, he'll be nailed to the ground. He won't be able to go.
And Chisora versus Stavern?
I think that in itself, where the style Stavern has, where he sits on the ropes, I think he'll probably pick little shots and probably get through with one or two shots like how I did with Chisora and catch him on the way in.
Right.
So I think that would be effective for him. His style of sitting on ropes would be more effective against someone like Chisora than it would be against Fury.
Right.
Yeah.
Dominic, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, Ian's right. I mean, personally, Stavern against Chisora, that would be a good fight. But again, I'll have to lean to my boy. I think that at this stage now, he hits too hard, and it's very compact. If you look at his record, how many people have gone the distance with him?
Very few.
Very, very few.
Yeah.
Ariola suffered a broken nose in the last fight.
Yeah.
Capitulated in the last fight against him.
Yeah.
So, an interesting fight, which would be very interesting, is Deontay Wilder against
Stavern.
And personally, I keep my own opinions to that.
Ian?
I honestly believe Stavern would win that because I think Wilder, his accuracy is ridiculous. For someone who's supposedly a world-rated fighter who's on the verge of fighting for a world title, I think the accuracy that he shows in his fights, he's not very accurate. And he throws a lot of shots, and someone like Stavern who sits on the ropes and he'll bob and weave, I think he'll let the fight will probably go 6 or 7. He'll let Wilder punch himself out, and then he'll catch him with one of them counters like he did with Ariola, and it'll be lights out.
Okay, as you know, there's a big fight this weekend at Wembley.
Oh yeah.
Froch, Groves 2. Dominic, you first?
I personally think that Groves has the edge in this one.
Okay.
Alright, I think that he showed great qualities in his last fight. He has all the qualities to be a world champion, and he definitely deserves to be where he is on the same plateau as thought it was a bit too soon for him. But how he held his own, I was very happy. So in this fight, I think psychologically he's probably got a little bit of an edge over Froch, because Froch, he got hurt in that fight, and you'll probably think about that.
He took some licks, but he came back.
He came back. Oh, he's a champion. He's stone. He's like stone. You know, he's like one of them old time. He just keeps coming. You know, but I think Groves will be definitely up for it this time, and plus he had all the management issues in his last fight. I don't know, it may have made a factor on his mind, and I don't know. Okay. But I think this fight he'll take it.
Ian?
Me personally, my own opinion going into the first fight, I said it all along. I said Groves would win it. I picked Groves to win it, and I genuinely believe that if it had gone on, Groves would have won it. And because going into the first fight, I thought Froch will be caught unexpectedly, and the fighter that he was expected to turn up would surprise him like he did, and he would win the fight, Groves. But going into the second one, I think Froch, I'm more in favour of Froch now, because I believe Froch knows what he's up against now, and he has time to make them little amendments now, and I think he may just nick this one now. But I think Groves' window of opportunity was taken from him in that first fight. I genuinely believe he should have won that first fight. And going into it before the fight, I always picked Groves to win it. Okay,
just to finalise things, social media is so big. There's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. Dominic, are you on any of those?
I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram.
So what's your Facebook name?
Dominic Akinlade.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as well. I don't really use Instagram and Twitter as much.
Okay.
I do make a couple tweets.
Okay.
But I'm mostly on Facebook.
Okay. Ian?
I'm on Twitter all the time. It's connected to my phone, so I'm always on it. You always see me in some sort of Twitter war.
Yep.
People are always abusing me on it, but you know what it is, what it is. I don't mind it, I enjoy it. I'm on Facebook also, and Instagram, all of them, Ian Lewison.
Right.
Check me out on either, any one of them. Facebook, Ian Lewison, Twitter, Ian Lewison, or Instagram, Ian Lewison.
And guys, finally, a word to the boxing fans.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the journey. I'm just starting out. Ian's getting to the stage where he's going to be developing, moving into bigger fights.
Bobbling over, as they say.
There you go. I'm just starting, kind of. I only got 2 fights. So hopefully in the next 18 months, God willing, I'll be in some big fights. Okay. And we can really make an impact on the scene.
Ian? Close?
Yeah, me to close. I'd say get behind me, support me. If you haven't seen any of my fights, get on YouTube and type in Ian Lewison. Get ready to be surprised. I feel I've got a really fan-friendly style, and if you go out and watch me, you will enjoy what you see. So definitely go on YouTube and type in Ian Lewison.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, and there's a PS. Don't look at the fights that you see there and look at my weight and laugh at me. I know I look like a pregnant dolphin in the 2 fights. I was 20 stone in my first fight, 19 stone 6 in the second fight. Now I'm down to a trim 17 stone, 13 pounds.
So the belly's gone?
Oh yes.
She's given birth. It was a baby girl. Yes, and she was healthy.
Guys, thanks so much for talking to Bayloric TV.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.